All right, joining us now from San Francisco, former Democratic Congresswoman Ellen Tauscher, a close friend and supporter of Hillary Clinton, who also worked under her at the State Department and was an early backer of Ready for Hillary. Congresswoman, welcome to Fox News Sunday.
Thank you, Shannon. Nice to be here.
Okay, let's talk about some of what we discussed with the former Attorney General, this idea of federal statutes that have swept up some very important people. Former CIA Director John Deutch was investigated under the same law as was General David Petraeus for keeping classified material on a government-owned computer at his house. The CIA had said, the Inspector General, that the computer was designated only for use with unclassified material, referred this investigation to the DOJ. Reportedly, Mr. Deutch was in talks for a plea deal when he was pardoned by then President Clinton. Obviously, that was a good deal for him in the end. General Petraeus, a different end. I mean, he narrowly avoided jail, but 2 years probation, $100,000 fine. How are those cases different than Mrs. Clinton's?
Well, they're completely different. You're talking about classified information. I mean, I think part of the problem we have here, and by the way, I think that former Attorney General Mukasey did a very good job as an advisor to Jeb Bush just now, but I was embarrassed by his complete lack of understanding of the Federal Records Act, the low side and high side classified and unclassified systems at the State Department, and, going way out there and talking about things like the Espionage Act and perjury, when this is not a criminal investigation. This is about the low-side computer system at the State Department, which is unsecure, which only carries unclassified emails. That's what we're talking about. And to some extent, we're talking about whether some emails, some people in the intelligence community and some people in the State Department differ on whether they should be classified one way or the other. But what is clear is that while she was secretary, Hillary Clinton did not receive on her unclassified, unsecure email system, the same as the .gov system at the State Department, anything that said head or footer that it was classified. And so, we can quibble about whether things should be reclassified as they go out to the public, but there is no question. All of the classified emails that Hillary Clinton used, saw, and supervised as secretary are on the classified server. There's no question about that. So this idea that we're spinning everybody up about perjury and talking about previous cases between John Deutch and Dave Petraeus, it's just dancing on the head of a pin and, frankly, partisan politics.
What do you make of the Reuters report that came out? I mean, a nonpartisan, mainstream news organization, people would agree on that. They say that by their estimation, at least 30 email streams involved information that was foreign government information. By its nature, it would be classified, presumed as such. Former director of the U.S. government's Information Security Oversight Office, J. William Leonard, called that kind of information, quote, born classified. As Secretary of State, shouldn't Mrs. Clinton have known that?
Look, Secretary Clinton has a phalanx of people in the Secretariat, former Foreign Service officers, former ambassadors, civil servants. I did as undersecretary too, that make sure all of this information is protected. It is physically impossible to move things from the classified system to the unclassified system. We are only talking about the classified system, unclassified system. Everything on the classified system is where it belongs, and there is no question about that. The Federal Records Act makes very clear the person that transmits the information is responsible for the classification of the information. And is it possible that Secretary Clinton was passed something by somebody and somebody and somebody? Yes. That would have been true if it had been on the state.gov email system on the unclass side. But I think that, look, we all understand that Hillary Clinton is held to a different standard. But let's get it straight. Let's be lawful and let's be smart about this. We're talking about unclassified emails. We're not talking about classified emails. We're talking about unclassified emails, and they are clearly subject to what people interpret. There are differences between the State Department and the intelligence community right now.
There are, because there are at least two nonpartisan, again, neutral inspectors general who have pointed out that they believe there was classified information, enough that they referred it to the DOJ for investigation. One of the emails that's come to light involves Huma Abedin, obviously a very close associate and advisor to the former First Lady, forwarding along a note from an aide to former British Foreign Minister David Miliband saying, didn't want it to go through the system, didn't want to go through the channels, wanted it to be seen by the secretary only. It talks about important information in Afghanistan. It is 5 pages. All 5 pages are redacted. That is classified information, at least per some concerns. We also have a judge who was appointed by then President Clinton, Judge Emmett Sullivan. He said this about Mrs. Clinton this week during a heated hearing on Thursday. He said, quote, "We wouldn't be here today if this employee had followed government policy." So does she have herself to blame for being in this position?
Look, Secretary Clinton has made it very clear that what was done for convenience has become anything but convenient. And in hindsight, some mistakes were made. But let's face it, Secretary Clinton is not someone who takes her national security responsibilities lightly and has done a fabulous job as secretary and as senator, making sure that she's done everything she can to keep America safe. So I think what's really important here is that if we're going to cherry pick, let's stay with the cherry tree. You talked about what Judge Sullivan said. Judge Sullivan's extraneous remark was about something completely different. And it was about something going on with somebody else, an employee. And so it has really nothing to do with what is going on right now, which is this review.
At the end of the day, it does have to do with the former secretary's use of a personal email server, not just a personal email address, unprecedented, and now under investigation.
It is not unprecedented. Shannon,
the use of a
you
former,
know that every
of a
previous
private
secretary,
server, they may have used private emails. They did not have private servers that were housed in their home and out of the control of the government, containing potentially classified information. That is unprecedented.
Everybody knows that 4 previous secretaries had private email addresses, including one current cabinet secretary.
Right, and addresses are different than private servers. That we can agree on.
I don't know why you are splitting that hair, because unsecured is unsecured. The current unclassified low-side system at the State Department is unsecured. And lots of people, including people from the archivist office, have said there is no difference between the way Secretary Clinton handled these emails and if they had been on the state.gov system. Well, so let's keep this about what it really should be about. Where are the classified emails? On the classified server. That's the treasure of the American national security system.
All right. Well,
all of this is really a distraction.
The FBI now has possession of the personal server, and we will allow their investigation to go where it does.
Exactly.
And we'll see. All right, former Congresswoman, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
No, thank you so much.